Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. We have some more breaking news on the recruiting trail, not the high school recruiting trail, the transfer portal recruiting trail, as Nick Evers, a 2022 kid who was originally played his first year at Oklahoma, has committed to Wisconsin. Obviously, losing Graham Mertz, a lot of the Wisconsin fans thought he was kind of the guy to get the quarterback play where it needed to be to maybe win a Big Ten title, maybe get into the college football playoffs. Obviously, wasn't Graham Mertz who's the guy. They go get a very talented kid from the state of Texas in Nick Evers. There's a lot to like about his game. We're going to talk about what we saw from him in high school and how he might fit into this new Wisconsin offense. I mean, Phil Longo, this offense is going to look a lot different. It's going to be a fun offense. Excited to get into it. Before we do, though, again, just want to say thank you guys for the support you guys have shown the channel. Again, if you guys enjoy the content, you like talking ball, consider subscribing to the channel. That is the best way you can support the fellas, and we really do appreciate that. Let's start talking a little Nick Evers. I want to pull up some of his highlights from high school because he played 1 year at Oklahoma, only threw one pass. It was an incompletion. We don't really know much about what he brings at the college level, but we do know he was an absolute stud at the high school level. You look at his measurables, you like a lot of what you saw. 6'3", I believe he's around 200 pounds now after his first year at Oklahoma. He's a very good athlete. But he also has a very talented arm. And when you think about what Phil Longo is going to try to do at Wisconsin, I don't think they'll lose that identity. Luke Fickell has said that they're not going to lose that identity of Wisconsin football where you want to run the football. You have Braylon Allen back. That's still going to be kind of their MO, I think. But what Wisconsin fans wanted and what you just didn't see enough of at Wisconsin with such a good defense is they just couldn't really hit those explosive plays and kind of put points on the board to compete with teams like Ohio State and some of those top teams in the Big Ten. I think Nick Evers gives you some of that juice. Graham Mertz, although he was a very highly touted guy out of high school, had a good arm, wasn't necessarily the athlete, wasn't necessarily the playmaker that I think a lot of Wisconsin fans wanted at the quarterback position. Nick Evers absolutely is. We're going to take a look at what he brings at the high school level in the state of Texas. I mean, this is big-time high school football, and he has a very, very live arm. Kind of ran that RPO system in college, too. You see just absolutely threading the needle. When you look at what Phil Longo wants to do with his quarterbacks, you look at what the success he had with Drake May, a lot of it was getting outside the pocket, letting that quarterback use his feet. This is a perfect example of what he can do. He's not only just a very good athlete and has burners in terms of straight line speed, but he's also a very fluid ball carrier. Like when he's out in open space, asking to just be an athlete, he can do that, extending plays, making people miss, and throwing on the run. When you saw Drake May have the most success at UNC, and obviously if you're a Wisco fan, you want to see that offense that you saw at UNC and then coupled with the defense you've seen under Jim Leonard, obviously not coming back, but you got to assume Wisconsin's still going to play very, very good defense. He's a good athlete at extending plays, but keeping his eyes down the field, still looking to get the football to his playmakers. And what you've seen from Luke Fickell is he's a very good recruiter. What he did at Cincinnati, not only is he a good recruiter, but he's great at developing talent. I mean, some of the guys, he put 10 guys to the NFL draft last year from that college football playoff team. He brings a lot of developmental skills, but he also can recruit well, and he's good at kind of picking the guys that he wants. Still taking a look at what Nick Evers does. He's a competitor. He's athletic, but he also has a very, very live arm. Kind of makes all the throws that you're going to ask and all the throws that Phil Longo is going to ask him to make. Again, we haven't seen what he brings at the high school level or at the college level, excuse me. He's a kid from the 2022 class. He was there for 6 months at Oklahoma. And shout out to Sooner fans. I mean, again, we talk a lot about Oklahoma Sooners football. They've been very, very gracious with him. He kind of came in, wasn't just bad timing. I don't think he was a bad player. A lot of times when you see guys pop up in the portal after 3 or 4 years at a school, it's just like you might not have it. You might not be that dude. Nick Evers went there. Dylan Gabriel transfers in. Couldn't beat Dylan Gabriel out for the job. I think Nick Evers is still a very, very good football player. We just haven't seen him yet because he's only been in college for, 6 months. He's going to come in early to Wisconsin. He's going to learn that new playbook. And Phil Longo, as we know, he's a very quarterback-friendly guy. Like when he runs his offense, he's going to make the reads easy for quarterbacks. He's going to get the ball out of their hands early to playmakers. I think the next step is for Wisconsin getting some of those playmakers on the outside. You obviously know you have a dog with Braylon Allen in the backfield, but you want that ball to get into some of your playmakers' hands in space where you can start hitting those chunk plays, hitting those explosives. And I think Nick Evers is a guy that you saw he can throw off multiple platforms. He's accurate and can throw the deep ball. Something that Graham Mertz just, I think, struggled with. When you saw it in Graham Mertz and when he struggled, not really a playmaker, not a guy that gets the ball out of his hands quick and can't really work from outside the pocket. Nick Evers is going to bring you all of that and more, and he's just going to be a better athlete and a better playmaker. I cannot wait to see what Nick Evers brings, and I would be very, very surprised if he's not a day one starter at Wisconsin. When you look at the quarterback depth chart at Wisconsin, it's been their Achilles heel. It's been their Achilles heel for a very long time. I think Luke Fickell, Phil Longo, they're going to be working on changing that narrative, and they do that landing Nick Evers from Oklahoma, formerly from the state of Texas. This one is, I think, a very good one and kind of a sneaky one. You hear a lot of stories about a lot of the bigger high school recruits. Nick Evers, maybe not the most talked about transfer guy because we haven't seen him at the college level, but he was a very, very big name out of high school. Again, Wisconsin is needing some more quarterback talent, and I think they get it with Nick Evers here. Definitely keep an eye on Wisconsin. I think Luke Fickell was an absolutely phenomenal hire. He's surrounding himself with great coordinators. Wisconsin, I think right now, in my mind, is the team to beat in the Big Ten West where they are standing. Again, appreciate you guys wanted to hop on, talk a little Nick Evers. We appreciate the support. Again, if you do like the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.